My name is Tommy Crane. I'm with the Radcliffe Fire Department. We're here at Woodland Elementary today. Every October we try to get to all of the elementary schools in our area and do a fire safety program, a fire safety day with them. We show them our fire truck, we show them what we look like with our gear, kind of explain some of that. And then we also take the time to try to go over with them some things that they can do at home if there's a fire and things to remember there. And we give them a chance to practice it and actually put it into place. So one of those is one of the spots that they're going to be at today here at Woodland is they're actually going to do a fire escape plan. Something very important that we want to remind them is to make sure everybody knows 2 ways out. Make sure they have a safe place if once they get out, to have a family meeting place that they can go to. The other thing is we want to make sure we want them to kind of see us in our gear in a non-emergency setting, so they can understand why we put it on, the importance of it. With the smaller children, we don't want them to be scared of us, things like that. We show them the truck. Everybody likes fire trucks, so we kind of explain the purpose, why the fire trucks are set up the way they are, why they have different things on them, the importance of the tools, things like that. And then the one that we have here in the gym is we actually have an inflatable house. It allows them to practice things like get low and go, checking the doors to make sure that whether they're hot or cold, reminding them to, if they can climb out the window, to get out to safety. It just gives them a chance to, we actually use a smoke alarm so they can hear it, and when they know that when they hear that sound, that's when they need to get moving. So those are just things that we try to do, and just give them that opportunity. And we try to do the entire school so all the kids get to be part of it. All right, good morning. How are y'all this morning? Awesome. If you guys want to have a seat for just a second, all right. All right, so can everybody hear me? Yeah, now? Can't hear? Okay. All right, are you sure? All right, how about now? Okay. All right, well, my name's Tommy. I'm here with the fire department. We're going to talk to you today about what to do if you hear the smoke alarm at night, okay? It's very important that you remember several things we're going to go over, and we're actually going to get to practice them before you guys go to the next station. So what's important is you don't have a lot of time when you hear the smoke alarm, okay? You only have about 2 to 3 minutes for you to get out of your house and get to safety, all right? So that's why it's very important. So when you hear the smoke alarm, you got to get moving, okay? All right, so when you and I go to sleep at night, our nose goes to sleep. So the smoke alarm is smelling for the smoke, okay? So it can let you know that there's a fire and you got to get out, all right? When you hear the smoke alarm, it's going to be very loud. It's going to be very obnoxious because its job is to wake you up just like an alarm clock and get you moving, okay? So I also want you to remember, get low and go. Everybody say that. Get low and go, okay? Let's say it a little louder. Get low and go. That is one of the most important things I'll tell you, okay? When you hear the smoke alarm, you have to get low, all right? Because the smoke is going to go up, the heat, all the chemicals and everything to make you sick, they're going to go up first. So you want to go low where it's cool and it's easy to move around and see and breathe, okay? So once you remember, get low and go. All right, so when you hear the smoke alarm, you get low, you go to your door, okay? And you check your bedroom door with the back of your hand, okay? This side of your hand, all right? Not your fingertips, not the palm of your hand, the back of your hand, all right? Because that's going to be the most sensitive. You're going to check it with the back of your hand, all right? And you're going to feel the door. If the door feels normal, okay, feels like it normally does or feels cool, then you stay low, you get low, and you go. You get out of the house, you get to safety. Don't take anything with you. Don't take anything at all. Just crawl on your hands and knees and get out of the house, all right? So you're going to get out. I want you to remember to stay out. Don't go back in for anything, okay? You get out of the house, get to safety, all right? The other thing is, it's important once you get out, you should have a family meeting place, all right? Now this is a place, once you get out of the house, that everybody in your family goes if there's a fire. It could be like a big tree in the front yard. It could be the neighbor's front yard. Just get somewhere away from the house in the front where we can see you when we get there. All right, so we can look and see to make sure everybody's out safely. All right, so remember, get low and go. Don't take anything with you. get out and stay out and go to your family meeting place, all right? So remember, it's the one place where everybody in your family needs to go, okay? All right, so that's what you do if the door is cool. Now, you hear the smoke alarm, you get down, you get low, and you go and you check your door, and it feels hot. It feels really warm, all right? It's not supposed to feel like that. That means that the fire and the smoke, it's really close. So what you want to do if it's hot is you want to keep the door closed. That's going to give you some time, okay, and give you a safe place to stay until the fire department gets there. So if it's hot, the door stays closed. You put something around the bottom to keep that smoke from coming in, all right? And then I want you to go to your window. Your window is your second way out. So if you can't go to the door, you go to the window, all right? The window, if you can get it open, like our house today that we're practicing in, it's low enough we can climb out. If your bedroom is on a second or third floor, like if you live in an apartment building and has 3 floors, obviously you can't get out the window. But you can still stay close to the window and make lots of noise, wave at us, get our attention so that we can see, then we can put a ladder there and we can get you out safely and quickly, all right? So remember, the door is cool or the door is cold, keep going. If the door is hot, you keep it closed and you go to your window, okay? All right, so what we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna practice some of that. We're gonna practice our get low and go. We're gonna practice checking the door, and then we're gonna practice climbing out the window because we're gonna pretend that our door is hot so we can't go out our bedroom door and we're gonna go out the window, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna use the smoke alarm, all right? So this is a real smoke alarm just like you would have in your house, hanging on the wall or up on the ceiling, all right? So we're gonna listen to it out here and then we're gonna listen to it in there. It's gonna be louder in there because we're inside the room, okay? So is everybody ready? So that's what it sounds like. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in 2 groups and we're gonna go through real quick because I know I don't have a lot of time with you, and everybody's gonna practice, and then and that should wrap us up. That should put us right about the right time, all right? So who's my first group?
All right. From here, down, stand up.
And you guys just follow me inside here. All right, find a spot on the wall. There's plenty of room. Everybody, once you get a spot on the wall, just have a seat. All right, there's plenty of room right there. That's good, far enough. Okay, here there's room over here. Okay, everybody have a seat. There you go. All right. So, all right, listen. We don't have a lot of time because we got to get both groups in. All right, so just like we talked about out there. All right, we're going to remember to get low and go. It's very important. You don't have a lot of time when you hear the smoke alarm, okay? That's why it's very important, all right? So we're gonna get low and go, and we're gonna remember we're gonna get out, we're gonna move quickly, all right? Okay, so we're gonna do it one at a time, okay? How many? One at a time. So we're not gonna race, you're gonna start, and we're gonna follow you, and we're gonna crawl. Make sure hands and knees, okay? Stay on your hands and knees, all right? Don't stand up, don't crawl on your elbows, because that takes too long. Get on your hands and knees. We're gonna come over here behind me. We're gonna check the door with the back of our hand. Remember, the back of our hand, not our palm, okay? Check it with the back of your hand. We're gonna pretend that the door is hot. So if the door is hot, do we go out the door?
No.
No, okay, we keep the door closed. If the door feels normal, feels cool, we can go out the door. But we're gonna pretend that the door is hot, so we're gonna go out our window. We're gonna go out the window one at a time, okay? All right, we don't want anybody to get hurt. We want to learn, but we want to have fun, and we don't want anybody to get hurt, okay? So I'm going to actually use the smoke alarm, so you're going to hear it, just like I said, this is exactly what your smoke alarm at home sounds like, okay? All right, so you're going to start. When you hear it, don't jump up, just go one at a time and go quickly but quietly, okay? All right. Okay, go ahead, stay down, low, hands and knees. All right, check the door, back of your hand, good job. Go over to the window. All right, good job. One at a time, you gotta check the door. Check the door, you forgot to check the door. That's part of it. Remember, one at a time. Check the door. Check the door, back of your hand. No, stay low, hands and knees. Hands and knees, good job, guys. Check the door. Check it with the back of your hand. One at a time. There you go. Good job. There you go. Back of your hand. There you go. Good job. All right. Remember, one at a time. All right. Where's our next group? All right. Have a seat along the wall. Find your spot on the wall, and just once you find a spot, just have a seat. Find a spot on the wall. Have a seat.
In all, everything you see here, plus the tools that he has to carry, plus an extra flashlight and an imager and all these things can weigh up to 90 extra pounds. That's a lot. Hold your question till the end, okay? Keep it locked up here. You go ahead and start putting your stuff on. Our gear can protect us on average from about 450 degrees. And the only reason it's 450 degrees is because that's when this plastic here starts melting. So the last thing we want is a bunch of plastic to start melting. Did you all see that his boots are in his pants already? When we have a fire call and we're at the station, we have to get out of that station. They give us 2 minutes to be on the road. We want to do it in less than a minute because somebody really needs us when we get a phone call. So we have the pants tucked around the boots. That way we can just step right in. If you look, there's a bunch of different layers. There's a layer that keeps us from getting wet. There's a layer of insulation, and this outer layer, it's a Nomex layer, that's what protects us from the heat. That will not melt and break down until it reaches 1600 degrees. Anybody can fathom what 1600 degrees is? You bake cookies at 350 degrees. So if we ever encounter 1600 degrees, we're going to melt. We're going to be a baked potato inside of our suit. It's not good. So that's his mask. The mask is fitted for each person individually, and it allows us to see. There's a little speaker on the side so we can communicate better. And it's really hot. Right now he's wearing what would be equal to probably 2 or 3 snowsuits. So that's the air tank, our SCBA, our self-contained breathing apparatus. That is designed to give us 45 minutes of air to breathe, good clean air. But if you're working really hard, just like when you're running in the playground, you get winded, right? You breathe heavier. So we have about 15 to 20 minutes of good usable air in a fire. So as he's buttoning his gear up, somebody already had a question. Who's got a question? Yes, sir.
I was going to ask, is that, for all the suits, is that not, y'all don't have to stay low when y'all go in the fire?
We do still stay low. Does anybody know, what does heat do? Does heat go up, down, sideways?
It rises.
Heat rises. So if it's 800 degrees up here, which this room's really tall, you know, a normal house is about this tall inside. So if it's 800 degrees up here, it might still be 200 degrees here. So we still get low and we scoot. Because we can feel the heat eventually. It starts it gets heat soaked like a car in the sun. You know, at first you can touch it, but as the day goes on, it gets really, really hot. Same with our gear. Yes, ma'am?
What if you're too weak to hold all the weight?
If you're too weak to hold all that weight, then you wouldn't be a firefighter. There's a lot of testing that goes through to even get to being a firefighter. Anybody else? Yes, sir.
I know how y'all have a lot of materials in your fire truck. Do y'all have a fire blanket?
A fire blanket? No, we do not. I think that's fairly new technology. Yes, ma'am.
How is it difficult to hold all that weight? How difficult would that be?
We get used to it. We train with it all the time. We go to the gym every single day, so we have to work out. I'm just a little guy, but we still go to the gym. We still have to be strong. That's why he's putting the gear on. I'm weak. I really can't do the job, but I'm here. Yes, sir.
How much PSI does the fire hose have on the fire truck?
Unrelated to gear, but it depends on the size of the fire. On average, about 125 pounds of pressure. If you're not expecting that, that's enough to scoot you across the ground. Yes, ma'am?
Has there ever been a time where like their suit melted off?
There's a couple of helmets that may or may not have started melting down. That means either we got caught off guard or we didn't do our job right. Yes, sir?
Can't you get heat stroke in one of those?
Absolutely. What helps you from getting heat stroke? What should we drink? Bunch of sugary energy drinks, right? Or water? Water. So we drink water all the time. Of course I have coffee today because it's still early morning, but we drink a lot of water to keep from getting heat stroke. No more questions? Well, we breezed through that pretty good. So normally, and you'll see that when you go out to see the fire truck, he would have what we call a set of irons, which is an axe and a Halligan bar. It's two specialized tools married together. So when you add that and you add an imager that he would clip on here, and the thermal imager allows us, maybe I should get that. I'm sorry, I got you. But everything else can weigh, like I said, up to 90 extra pounds. Yes?
What if we ran out of water?
I'm sorry?
Why do you ran out of water?
What if you
If we run out of water, we're fortunate because in our city we have fire hydrants everywhere. So that helps us out a lot. We also have a tanker truck that holds 2,000 gallons of water. That's a lot. Yes? A little bit louder for me, I'm half deaf.
If the oxygen tank loses, what happens if the oxygen tank has a hole in it?
We would know that pretty quick. They're actually aluminum. Everything you see out here is an additional strength coating on that cylinder. This, I mean, you would have to run it over with a train to make this fail. Sometimes there's leaks down here, but we check our gear every single day. So, if he runs low on air, go ahead and bleed it down slowly. If he runs low on air, there's a bell that starts ringing. Maybe. And that bell starts ringing when he has about a quarter of his pressure left. So we know well in advance if we're running out of air. Yes?
Why does that thing keep beeping like that?
The thing keeps beeping like that because if he stops moving, we'll just leave it alone. If he stops moving, let's say he falls down and gets trapped, it will beep to say, hey, are you okay? It's like your little buddy shaking you. And if he does not acknowledge that, it ramps it up to the next level. And if he still ignores that, it goes to the next level. And if he's seriously hurt, it goes to that level. That's a lot. Yes. I mean, come on. Make it stop. So by the time it gets to that level, even inside of a house, people outside with trucks running and commotion going on, we can hear that. That lets us know one of our guys is in trouble. Yes, ma'am.
This is irrelevant to the gear, but about how many calls do you get a day?
How many what?
Calls do you get a day?
Sometimes 10 or 12, sometimes none.
I'd say if we averaged it,
1 minute.
it'd be about 3.
Yes.
How far can you hear that from?
We can hear it all the way from, if he's inside the house, we can hear it from outside. So it may not seem like a very far distance, but the truck's really loud. But that's that high-pitched, ear-piercing noise. You have a question?
Do some of these suits have night vision?
I'm sorry?
Do you have night vision?
We don't have night vision. We do have a thermal imaging camera. So what that does, it does show us the difference between hot and cold. Yes?
Has half of this suit ever melted?
I'm sorry?
Has half of this suit ever melted?
The suit won't melt. Only the plastic will melt. The suit will start charring. But before the suit chars, you're inside like a baked potato. You'll actually start blistering long before then. So you know to get out. Yes, ma'am.
On the green line, please.
I didn't hear you.
Have you ever
On the
had
green
fire
line,
at
please.
night?
At night? Most of the fires we go to are at night. Yes?
By plastic, you mean like the beeping thing?
By plastic, I mean mainly this. Before this ever melts though, we see this shield and it starts getting really droopy and lazy.
Would it ever like go outside or something?
I've not had that happen. Before this really starts melting, we start seeing spiderweb cracks when it starts getting hot.
Okay. When my girls were wee little, when they were old enough to understand, we came up with a plan at our house. And we've moved since then, but we had a two-story house and all the bedrooms were upstairs. And when they were old enough that they could talk, hold conversation, by the time they hit first grade, kindergarten, maybe even a little before, we had a conversation that if there ever came an emergency in the house and we had to get out, they had to know what to do and where to go because mom and dad may not, be able to help them. And so we came up with a plan, which is what you're going to come up with right here, a home fire escape plan. I had the girls help me, which really we kind of did it together, but we drew an outline of the house. And we put on the little rectangle, we put where their bedroom was, where mom and dad's bedroom was, where the stairs were, where the front door is, where the back door is, where the garage was, that kind of stuff. And then we drew where the driveway was and the street in front of our house. And then we had the conversation of if something ever happened, where do we go? What do we do? And so we came up with a plan. Does anybody here have an established plan with your family of what to do in case of an emergency like a fire? Raise your hand if you do. Oh my. Because here comes the problem, and this is the conversation I had with my girls when they were little, is that, one, they're going to be scared. And in a scary situation, they may not know what to do. So we had to practice, and we literally went outside and practiced this several times. Because they're going to have to know what to do in case mom and dad aren't available, aren't able to help. And so we came up with a plan of where to meet, how to get out of the house. And so we practiced. We practiced, like Mr. Crane showed you, how to feel the door. We practiced on how to feel the door. We practiced on how to go down the stairs. We practiced how to get low and get out of the house. We practiced going out the back door. We practiced going out the front door. And then our meeting spot was our mailbox, because our driveway was far enough away from the house in case something was going on, it'd be a safe distance. Now, depending on how far your mailbox is from your house, you may go across the street to a neighbor's mailbox or to a neighbor's porch or whatever is convenient for you. But if you were to ask my girls, even today, they're one's in college, one's a senior in high school now, but they'll still tell you they know that plan. Now, if we were upstairs, we even had a plan on what to do when they were upstairs. And so we talked about how to open a window, which teaching a 6-year-old how to open a window was not always a great idea, but it was a necessary thing so that they would know how to open that window. Somebody asked me earlier, what about a screen in a window? What did I tell you to do to it?
Lock it out.
Kick that thing out. Kick it out. Get out of that house. Some of you, if you live on a second story or your bedroom is on the second story, you may have something underneath your window. Some of you may not.
The window is gated.
With windows what?
Gated.
Gated. Like Mr. Crane said, you stay by that window, you make a whole bunch of noise. Those firemen, they can get that off. They get off pretty quick. So, your plan here is you need really 2 ways to get out of your house. Okay? And then you need some kind of meeting place. If you have little brothers or little sisters, they need to know this plan as well. And since not many of you have a plan, your parents need to know this plan as well. We all think things happen to other people. Sometimes they happen to us. Okay? So your job today is on this gridded part right here. I want you to draw an outline of your house. And in it, where your bedroom is, where your front door is, your back door, all that kind of stuff. And then I need an escape plan. And I need 2 different ways. If you look at the fire safety plans next to the doors in every classroom, there are 2 routes. There are 2 routes. Because if you're in this room and the closest way out the door, I think, is to go, I think they go out this way and I think they go out the side. If the fire's in front of the cafeteria, you definitely don't want to go that way. So you have to have a second route. No, you're going to draw your home. Okay? So I need an outline of your home. It doesn't have to be really detailed, okay? But I do need to see, like, you know, where your bedroom is, like where your family room is. If you have your parents' room or brother or sister's room or whatever you got in your house, try to draw the inside of the house and the exits out of the house. And if you've got a window that you're going to use as an exit, make sure you got the window in there too. But I need 2 different ways to get out of that house. Yes, sir, Mike?
What if you have a 2-story house?
If you have a 2-story house, it depends on how your house is set up. Like my mom's house. My mom upstairs, she has one of those, it's a chain ladder. That's basically what it is. It hooks onto the window. And so then you can get out using that. I mean, I don't know, it's something your family has, you know what I mean? If it's a 2-story house, or like if you're in an apartment, you're on the 2nd story, if there's only one way out, well then your immediate evacuation is that one way out. Your second option is going to be out the window. If you get really creative, you could take your bed sheets, tie them to the bed, and slide on out, you know what I mean? Because I'm going to tell you, in an emergency, you're going to have to take care of yourself. Yes, ma'am?
What if you don't have windows?
You don't have any kind of windows?
I do, just what if you don't have them?
Well, most houses have some type of windows. Most bedrooms have windows. In fact, it is, it's actually part of the code of building houses that you have to have a window in each bedroom. Because the firemen can get there. So, create me a plan, put your name on it, okay? And then when you're done, you're going to give it to me, and I'm going to put it in this envelope over here for Miss Weatherington. And then we'll get that to you at the end of the day. Okay, we'll finish. There are different kinds of basements. It's just like a walkout basement, doors, doors, and okay, other windows, just small windows.
Wait, what if you live in an apartment?
Okay, it's not gonna be in the middle. Start on your outside door. Push your outside door. If you're on the outside, I want to take this, I'm making a flat one. We're not drawing that house. I'm making it for that.
Great.
They're not expecting you to be good at art. They're just expecting you to be able to draw this house. The first thing you see when you walk into my house is if you look. Okay, so if I'm walking in the house, I'm walking in the door. First thing I see, if I look to my left, I see the stairs. So that's what I'm going to draw. I'm going to do a little rectangle. I'm going to say stairs. Hallway. I'm going to label this hallway.
y'all doing?
Good.
Good. Have y'all seen the fireman put his gear on yet? Yeah.
Do you have any jackets?
Have y'all seen this truck before?
Yeah.
This is our ladder truck. We call it 3051. It's got 500 gallons of water on it, and our engine has 1,000 gallons of water. So if we show up, we're gonna have 1,500 gallons of water, and if we can't put it out with that, hopefully there's a hydrant around. So I'm gonna show y'all a couple tools that we use a lot. I'm sure y'all have heard of the jaws of life before. Well, this is our combination tool. It's battery powered. If anyone gets stuck in a car, we can pretty much cut any part of it with this or spread. And this is what we call the iron set. It's got a Halligan bar and an axe. Pretty much any fire we go to, someone will have this, because we can get into most stores with just these two tools. So, and some of y'all can see this. We have a negative pressure fan. If the house is too smoky and we need to pull the smoke out, we'll use this. And we got a foam pack right here. It's got foam and water. After a fire, we'll go in and spray everything down with foam to make sure it doesn't catch back on fire. And we have a cutting torch back there. If we can't cut it with anything else, we always got a cutting torch. And another Halligan bar right there. And 2 salvage tarps. If we're trying to save something from water damage, we'll throw that over. We got some shovels and some bolt cutters. If we need to cut any padlocks or fences like that, we can use those. We got an extra battery for those tools. And we got our K12 saw. We can cut concrete, metal, anything like that. And if we need to cut wood, we'll use our vent saw. If we need to ventilate a house, we can go to the roof and cut us a 4x4 foot hole and use a pipe pole to bust out the ceiling and let all the smoke out. And down here we have a hydraulic pump. We have hydraulic spreaders like right there. It's close to that, except it's just hydraulic powered. And if y'all want to come to the back, I'll show y'all what's back there.
Sunlight's out my eyes.
Oh my gosh.
Y'all scoot this way a little bit.
I'm going back over here.
Keep going. Keep going. All right. Back here we keep our ladders. We got 16-foot roof ladders with hooks on the ends. If we need to hook the top of a roof, like the ridge up there, if it's too steep, we'll take those. We got a 35-foot extension ladder. You know, that'll reach most buildings. And this is our pipe poles. If we need to bust out any ceiling or anything like that, we'll take those. Drywall pullers. We can also pull down ceiling and expose the fire like that. Right here we have our hydrant bag. Y'all can see 5-inch on both sides. If we need to connect to a hydrant, we have everything we need in this bag. And over here we have our 24-foot ladder and our 15-foot and some more pike poles. And this is an attic ladder. It folds up real small, so we can fit it in a house in a little attic space. And right here we have a backboard. If EMS isn't there and we have to immobilize someone, we can tape you down to that. Oh yeah, right here. If we have a hydrant and we want all the water to go to the ladder's got a big nozzle on the tip of it. We can hook our hydrant right there and it goes straight to the ladder. And if y'all want to come over to this side.
That's where the sun is. You got a little leak over there.
Y'all want to scoot down a little bit more?
Why is the water? It's like a chocolate.
You got a bit
Right here we have our hotel packs, 100-foot sections. If our hose is too short and we can't reach the fire, we'll take those. And what do y'all think this is called?
Fire hydrant. Fire extinguisher.
Close, yeah. It's a water can. Here's your fire extinguisher. It's pretty much the same thing, just has water and foam in it. Just depends on what's burning. Y'all seen that? SCBA packs and the spare cylinders? Y'all seen them put that on?
It's air.
Then if y'all want to scoot down a little bit. We got another fan for ventilation. This is a positive pressure one. And this one's just for pushing smoke through it and pressurizing the house. And we got some lights if we need to light it up. Because most fires will turn off the electric, so we'll be able to see. And this is the pump panel. Whoever's driving, this is their main job. Once they set the brake, they'll be here most of the time. They have to learn what all these levers do and how to get water to the hose that they need. So they make it easy on us. They label #1 crosslay, and under this hose it says #1 crosslay. So I'm in the back today. If I pull this hose, he knows once he gets the pump running and gets the water to the pump, he can pull this one and give me water. And we have some extra hoses in here and a bunch of different fittings and wires and a hydrant wrench to be able to turn the hydrants on, and some spanner wrenches the hoses have couplings. If they're too tight, we can use those spanner wrenches. You got a question?
What if there's a fire inside the truck?
Inside the truck? We'll call another truck. One of our other trucks. It could happen. You got a question?
How do you move the ladder?
How do you move the ladder? So this is called an outrigger. We'll set the front brake on it and use these wheel chocks, and we'll chalk the front wheel, because these outriggers come out on both sides and go into the ground, and it lifts the back end off to stabilize it. And then right there, that's where all the controls are to the ladder. Whoever's engineered will get under there, and then they can raise it, extend it, and bring it this way if they need to. And like I said, there's a nozzle on the tip of it. They can flow 1,000 gallons. So we got that. Any more questions? Good. It's called an outrigger.